Hi, everyone. This is an example or an additional information about the end value, as I promised last week. Thank you so much, Ernesto Custodio, which is one of my PMP candidates, and he prepared this educational material as part of the class, like a couple of months ago as part of the class. So anyways, so this is the earned value. Remember, we're talking about the cost management, the project cost management. We have 4 processes. Number 1, plan cost management. Number 2, estimating costs. Number 3, determine budget. And number 4, we're controlling the cost. So the earned value methodology or earned value analysis or earned value technique is just a data analysis technique that can be used to control the cost. So the earned value analysis compares the performance measurement baseline to the actual schedule and cost performance. So as part of the exam, we can just find a couple of questions, not only to calculate the earned value, but to understand the concept. So that's why I'm providing this additional training material for you to study for the exam. So the earned value management integrates the scope baseline with the cost baseline and the schedule baseline to form or to create the performance measurement baseline. The performance measurement baseline is part of the project management plan. It's a very important piece of information because it contains the 3 baselines. Remember, cost, scope, and schedule. So based on those 3 baselines, we will be able to control changes. So anything that you want to change must be approved or rejected. And if something is approved, we need to adjust or update the performance measurement baseline. So that's why this is very important. So the earned value monitors the 3 key dimensions that I was explaining to you last week. The dimension number 1, it's the plan value. What is the plan value? It's just the budget to perform in a specific activity or work package in the project. So the plan value is the authorized budget assigned to any scheduled work. The good thing is that the plan value is already approved and is part of the baseline. So the total plan value for the project is also known as the budget at completion, which is BAC. So when you see BAC in capital letters, BAC is the budget at completion for the project. So when we're talking about end value, we already saw the dimension number 1, which is plan value. Number 2, it's end value. Is the measure of the work performed. That's it. How much work has been done. That is the earned value. It's expressed in numbers, dollars, or money, because it's just in terms of budget. So the actual cost, which is the dimension number 3, is how much money I spent to complete the job, which is the cost incurred for the work performed on an activity during a specific time period. So having said that, let me just show you some of the charts that Ernesto Custodio prepared for the class. And this is an example. I will paint your wall for $10 an hour, and I will complete it in 2 hours for $20. So as you can see here, we just have here the budgeted completion, which is $20, and also it's the cost baseline, and it's just $20, and the schedule or the duration of the project is 2 hours. So we have a lot of information here just to define and control the work performed. So the purpose of the earned value is just to track and understand the status of the project at any time. So if I want to know how much work has been done after 1 hour, and I can find this information. It could be a good or normal status, let's say. So if they have completed 50% of the work in 1 hour, so the earned value is 50% of $20, which is $10. So what is the earned value? Is $10. Is the how much work, is the effort, how much work has been performed in 1 hour, it's $10. The same way I can find, I think this is really bad news. It's another example. They have completed just 25% of the work in 1 hour. So the earned value here is just $5 after 1 hour. So it doesn't look good. In this case, if they continue with the same speed or performance, this project or this activity or this work package will be late and over budget. So the same way we can say, let's say, I have a good news for you. After 1 hour, we have completed 75% of the work in 1 hour. Now we're talking. And this is a really good news. In this case, the earned value is $15. So having said that, we can define the earned value. We can just represent the earned value using this equation. So the earned value, it's equal percentage complete of the budget. Or we can see, and very clear, it's very clear to define from this equation, from this formula, that the percentage complete, it's equal earned value divided by budget. This is just for your information. If you see something like this in the exam, this is straightforward. Just define the 3 dimensions: the earned value, the planned value, and the actual cost. So let's see here. This is a tricky question for the exam. This is a given information, and we can find this type of tricky questions for the exam. And they are giving you the planned value and the actual cost, and they are asking for the exam, is the project over budget? Yes or no? What do you think? Okay, based on the earned value management or earned value technique, we are missing here the earned value, so we don't know if the project is over budget or it's okay. So if you see this chart, it seems like it's not doing good, because the planned value, the actual cost, how much we spent, it's greater than the planned value. So you can say, this is not doing good, but we don't know. So as soon as you receive the earned value amount, now you can calculate if the project is over budget or not. How? Because you will be using the cost variance and the schedule variance. And this is the only way for the exam that you can just determine or answer the questions. And just for your information, maybe you don't have to answer a lot of numbers and questions, but you need to understand the concept. So based on that, you can calculate the cost variance. And by definition, the cost variance is the amount of budget deficit or surplus at a given point of time, expressed as the difference between the earned value and the actual cost. The same way, you can define the schedule variance and the CPI, which is the cost performance index. So the cost performance index is another key performance indicator of a performance for the project. So the CPI, which is the cost performance index, is a measure of the cost efficiency of the budget resources, expressed as a ratio of earned value to actual cost. So the variance, it's a just subtraction, and the performance indexes are ratios, which is you have to divide the earned value divided by the actual cost. So this is considered the most critical EVA, which is the earned value analysis. This is the most critical or important or relevant metric and measures the cost efficiency for the work completed. That's the CPI. So the CPI value less than 1 indicates a cost overrun, which is not good. The CPI value greater than 1 indicates a cost underrun, which is good because you're saving money of the performance to date. And this is the formula. The same way you can find or calculate, if you need it for the exam, the schedule variance. So the schedule variance is the same concept, but now we need to use the plan value instead of the earned value, instead of the actual cost. So it's a measure of schedule performance expressed as the difference between the earned value and the plan value. That's the schedule variance. Is the amount by which the project, you can say, is ahead or behind the schedule. It's ahead or behind the planned delivery date at a given point in time. It's best used in conjunction with the critical path. That's another topic, but remember critical path we saw like 2 weeks ago. And the critical path, it's a methodology to understand the project duration and the total float or slack. So having said that, now we can calculate the SPI, which is the schedule performance indexes. The other one, we have 2 indexes and 2 variances as part of the matrix. So the schedule performance index is a measure of schedule efficiency expressed as the ratio of earned value to plan value. So it's the same formula. However, instead of use actual cost, we're using the plan value. So the SPI less than 1 indicates less work was completed than was planned, which is not good if it's less than 1. So the SPI greater than 1 indicates that more work was done than was planned. So which is good, it's a really good news. The SPI, which is the schedule performance index, is equal to the ratio of the earned value to the plan value, which is the same type of format of the cost variance. Also, we can forecast the project based on actual performance. And I can say if the team continues performing in this type of behavior, so I can calculate or define the forecast at the end of the project, which is the final cost. It will be this formula. It's budget at completion divided by CPI. The same way I can forecast or understand the future of my project just using this formula, which is plan duration divided by SPI. Those are the formulas that we need to understand the concept. We need to apply for the exam and also understand what is the meaning at the end of the day when you receive a positive value or negative value or a value less than 1 or greater than 1. So having said that, positive numbers are always good and negative numbers are always bad. Okay, here's the thing. You can see this is a more comprehensive exercise, and I have the part number 2 here. So the earned value, for this case, is an example for the exam. A project is estimated to cost $50,000. What is that? That is the budget at completion. So a project is estimated to cost $50,000 with a timeline of 50 days. What is 50 days? Is the total duration of a project. And after 25 days, so it's providing like a specific point in time, which is after 25 days, the project manager finds that 50% of the project is complete and the actual cost is $50,000. So what is the cost performance index? Remember the formula that CPI equals earned value divided by actual cost. Yeah, you got it. So this is the formula. So the first thing you need to define here, what is the earned value and how much is the actual cost. So the actual cost is given, is 50,000. However, the earned value is a percentage of work performed, which is 50,000, 50% of 50,000, which is 25,000. That's it, that's the earned value. Just replace the values, you put it on the equation and divide it, the 25,000 divided by 50,000, which is 0.5. So the answer is the CPI, it's 0.5. Remember that numbers, the performance index less than 1, what is the assessment from the expert? What is the project status? We're not doing good. So a value less than 1 indicates cost overrun or over budget in the project. So let me just continue with the part number 2 of this example. I will say the question number 2, I'm sorry. So a project has a budget at completion of $2,000 and is expected to last 6 months. After 3 months, the project manager reports that the plan called for a spending of $1,000. By the 3rd month, the actual cost is $750 and the earned value is $800. So here's the thing, before you continue reading and just calculating the numbers, let me provide like a step-by-step for you. From now on, you need to, first of all, understand what is the budget at completion. You need to understand what is the earned value. You need to understand or define or calculate before you start the actual cost and the plan value. So those are the 4 parameters, the 4 numbers you need to identify from the very beginning before you continue. So what is the percentage completed? If you have the earned value, remember the formula that I gave you at the beginning of this presentation, you can calculate the percentage. So what is the formula for the cost performance index? It's CPI. CPI equals EV divided by AC, and so on. Just replacing the formulas there. I don't need to read the formulas. It's not a productive way to explain this example. However, I need to remind you that I already provided this formula, which is earned value, percentage complete, multiplied by budget, or percentage complete equals earned value divided by budget. So in this way, you can calculate the percentage, which is straightforward calculation. So it's 800 divided by 2,000 multiplied by 100. Why? Because you need to express the percentage completed in percentage. So that is the question. So CPI is just replacing EV, 800, divided by actual cost, 750. Remember, values are greater than 1 means that we are under budget, and the same way you calculate the cost variance and understand the results under budget. SPI, it's an indicator of performance for the scheduling. So how much we are behind the schedule or on time. That is the importance of understand the schedule performance index. Is understand if we are behind schedule or we are good in terms of completion in the of the calendar. So the schedule variance, in this case, the schedule performance index is less than 1. So we will be late. I'm sorry, we'll be late. The schedule variance in this case, and this is the formula. So again, negative number, which is bad. So less than 1 is bad, and negative numbers are bad. Estimated completion, which is the forecast, understanding the future performance, is estimated at completion equals budgeted completion divided by CPI. One more time. In terms of cost, we are doing good. Why? Because the budgeted completion in the original information, the given information on the top of this exercise is 2,000, but we are forecasting that in the future, the final cost will be less than 2,000. which is really good news. And last but not least, final plan duration is just applying the formula. It's 6 months divided by SPI, which is 0.8. Schedule performance index is 0.8. And we calculated here, it's in the information number 4 from the top to the bottom. So we have every single number, we understand the concept, we apply the formula, and we can determine the status and the forecast of the project. That's why we need to understand, first of all, the concept, then memorize. Yes, we need to memorize the formulas. And then understand the meaning of the result. Is positive, is negative, is greater than 1, or is less than 1 for the performance indexes. So in this way, you can answer any question for the exam. I hope you do a really good exam for this cost management, and believe me, you will be fine. The majority of these questions are in terms of the concept. Not all the time you need to calculate numbers. So don't be afraid, you will be good. Any questions? So just let me know. We have the personal chat. You can send me an email via FIU platform. Thank you so much for your time. And I talk to you Saturday morning. Goodbye.